this is what this is going to look like. So you got your 1-page business plan. You're going to take that and you're going to fill this out. You can like literally type your numbers over this, or you might decide that you want your goal to be different. And what I mean by different, as long as it is measurable and specific and it points you in the north direction, this is just the example, right? You have this, so you can just type right over it. Because from here, we're going to take this and we're going to say, so I want you kind of give an example of this. So let's say that, your strategy 4 is a kick-ass 36 touch that ensures I close. So in this, if we use this as an example, we want to have 20 buyers from our sphere and 20 closings from our sphere. So we needed to close 40 transactions. Okay. Now this is how we take it from our GPS to our actual daily action plan. If that's so, we take it from here. So for instance, and I'm just going to use this as a one example, and I'm going to say, okay, kick-ass 36 touch. We know that's what I want next year. So let's go to my 411. And again, we're going to go deeper into the 411. I just kind of want to show you how this connects and why that GPS is so important, is so that we can be appropriate in the moment. And so if it's going to be, so run a 36 touch plan. That's my goal next year. That ensures that I close 40 units. Well, then I want to go, this is 2021, right? And yet right now we are operating in 2021, right? Because it's a 90-day cycle in our business. So in December, I'm going to break down my goals. And again, this is just an example. And I'm going to say that I want to create a 36 touch plan for 2021. Well, if I'm going to do that in December, that helps me know what must I do in the first week of December to move me closer to having that done in December, right? Because that's one of those things. We go back to the 7 habits of highly effective people. Creating that GPS is not, the 36 touch is not urgent. It's important, but it's not urgent. So we put it off, and we don't get the results that we desire to have. So I'm going to show you one other thing of why. So the GPS is the overall. And then you might ask yourself, well, okay, but if I'm going to do a 36 touch, what do I do from here? So again, these are just examples because you're going to be able to make it yours, but I want you to almost think of it, and you might decide to do this in a book, and it doesn't matter. I'm doing it in Google Drive because it's easier to share with you guys, right? So if you look at, say that you're like, okay, I want to have an amazing database touch system. What does that mean? Well, now you're going to create an action plan on that thing. So this is an example again. So what is my 36 touch going to look like? Make the action plan so simple that whenever you bring somebody else in, this becomes your training manual in essence, right? And you go, okay, what is a 36 touch? And it goes that you can come back in and read this, but your MET should be on a 36 touch. What is the MET? How have you defined that for your business? It means you have permission. Well, what if I don't have permission to contact them? Well, get it. Here's a quick little example of how to get it. You might rewrite this because this might not be your example, right? What kind of things should I send? General ideas. So what's the, and then you're going to contact them 4 times a year. You need to know how many people in your database, so you know how many calls per month, per week, per day. On your business plan, we've already determined how many people we need to add to your database. Do 2 client events a year. So these are some examples of client events, and even 4 promotions per year. Again, you're going to have access to all of this, right? So I know I'm running through it fast, but you're going to have access to all of this. This is the important piece. And I think sometimes what we don't do, because we're trying to do everything right now, is you want to then go, okay, well, if that's my database, this is an example from Viral Marketing. They are actually the ones that run my database. That's an example of what they do, because you might choose to do it. You might choose to farm it out, or you might choose for your admin to help you do it. That's all fine. There's also a video I put in here for a life of a lead. If you're not really clear on, okay, I got a lead, what happens to that from them becoming a lead all the way, that's a great video to watch. Okay, well, I've got a new contact. What's my plan? Well, so this is a step-by-step plan of what to do when you have a new person come into your sphere. That could be a past coworkers, friends, business associates. It could be a web lead. A web lead came in. They're a lead. They're not a contact. I've talked to them. We've made a connection. Now I want to add them as my Met, right? So how do I do that? Well, this talks about why is database important, all this. Then you go, you got the introductory, we put them on a smart plan. We're going to send an introductory email and text, a handwritten note, a card follow-up, neighborhood snapshot, right? And you can set this up in your database to remind you to do this, but you've got to know what you want to put in, right? Now, the cool part in here, it even gives you, you know, like what script do you want to use? There's an introductory email. It's pre-built, right? Handwritten note. What do you want that card to say? My favorite, how to refer me email. Wouldn't that be really cool if everybody got that when they entered into your database? So you've got a call and a smart, what am I going to say on that call? What are the, if I get their voicemail, what are the things that I'm going to say? Introductory email and text, handwritten note, call follow-up text. Hey, hey, Jenny, it's Olivia. I just wanted to confirm you got my note card. Make sure you get that. Yeah, fantastic. Would it be okay if I did something very simple? Sure. I'd like to set you up on a monthly neighborhood snapshot. That way you can see what home, right? You guys are getting this. And I know, again, I'm going fast because you'll have access to all this. Got a pre-built email so that the system automatically sends that out. I am going to pause here. How to refer me email. Hey, George, I'd like the opportunity to be a professional resource to the people in your life, and I'd love to earn their trust and confidence as well. When you're going to refer me to the people you care about most, it's important you know that you're going to be taken care of. It's important to me. I let everyone know what my intentions are when they send me a referral. The best way to refer someone, most effective, our process for referrals. Thanks, agent name. Now, you might love this or you may hate this. It doesn't matter. If you don't have it, use this as a base to create your own, right? Or go, you know what? I don't have anything, so I'm going to rip off and duplicate and do it exactly like this. And then I can come back and make adjustments, right? So, now, if I go back here, so then you go, okay, do I have a action plan for when I have new Facebook leads? Do I have one for once they become an old Facebook lead? Do I have my holiday? Okay, so, sorry, I get a little passionate and I'm also already a loud talker, so I'm not screaming at you guys. I'm just so excited about it. And we're going to talk about, and I talked about some of you guys, or some of you have seen this before, that MindShare. So if the 36 touch, it says these are the things that I'm going to do, you might go, okay, well, if I'm going to do 2 events this year for my Mets, let's pre-plan them. I'm going to do it in March, and this is what I'm going to do for the event, and this is the promotion, right? You talked about the promotions in there. You can go ahead and pre-plan it so that you don't have to think about it every month, because you go, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to put it in my database. Now I'm going to da-da-da-da. So I've thrown a lot at you guys. I've been talking for a long time. I'm going to pause, answer any questions you have about the GPS, and then see if that makes sense on how do you take your GPS and go, okay, do I have an action plan for my business in that thing? And why it's best if we focus on one piece than trying to put everything in place, right? If we put on the 36 touch in place in December, spend a lot of time on that, we get it in place so we can start every month. We're doing that. We're holding it accountable. Then we go, okay, if it's open houses, okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with my open house. And I'd have another tab or page in my book for this is what we do, our action plan for open houses.